Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming, an absolute pleasure to be with you here this evening. Can you give us a brief introduction to this film, Tigers? For people who don't know anything about it, what can they expect?
I would say they can expect a kind of roller coaster ride through the modern day football business, seen through the eyes of 16-year-old Swedish super talents. It's a film based on a true story of Martin Bengtsson, who arrived at Inter Milan, the Italian top club, as a young man, and it's a tough journey.
And what attracted you to telling this story? And it seems you have an interest in sports biopics in general.
Yeah, I mean, I decided to make a trilogy of movies set in the sports world, in a way out of frustration of how sports movies usually are. I mean, I think it's such an underused arena. There are so many interesting stories, and there's so many themes that I'm interested in, like in this film with masculinity, economy. I think so many times the sports movies miss out on the great things. So I decided to make 3 films where this was the one I knew all along that I would direct myself. Yeah, I think it's just it's a wonderful arena for filmmaking.
That central casting was going to be so crucial to getting this film right, and I guess you had to have some sensitivity, like the character he's playing. He's only a young guy taking on this very intense role, the prep, from a physical and emotional side. So how did you cast Martin, and how did you work with this actor to make him achieve your vision?
When I met Eric, when I started working with him, I realized that he had immense talent, and he had this kind of combination of brutality and fragility that I was looking for. But at the same time, he didn't look like an athlete physically, so I had to put him in training for brutal training for a year, and he was really living like an elite athlete, which I think helped him quite a lot to get into the role. But of course, I mean, I told him from the get-go that this is the movie-making equivalent of extreme sport. You will be practically in every shot. You won't need a trailer because you won't be there. You will be with me and the camera all the time.
Were there any particular moments that were really difficult to film, or particular highlights from the shoot?
I mean, in a way, the hardest thing was, of course, to capture football in itself. I mean, because it's one of those sports that has never really worked on film. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to make it work. And I realized that it's by making it more subjective and to, stay true to the experience of playing football, which is in movies, normally you only see them when they have the ball. But in a real football game, you have the ball for maximum 1 minute, and then it's 89 minutes without the ball. So I kind of wanted to be there with him in between, and when he's wrong, when he's in the wrong place, when he's and in a way I was more inspired by dance movies rather than sports movies for this one, because I wanted the football scenes to kind of work as a metaphor for his inner turmoil.
And what do you hope people take away? Because I guess in some respects, a lot of people associate with football the fame, the glamour, the girls, the cars, and we don't see this other side, that can actually be really challenging. But I was overhearing you saying you're not strictly criticizing football, you're a football fan. So it's quite a nuanced approach that you're taking with the film.
And I mean, you get all those things in the film as well. You get the car, you get the girlfriend, you get all the firsts. In that sense, it's really a coming-of-age film. But of course, it's also showing a darker side that we're normally not allowed to see, because the football industry don't want us to see it. Sure, it's a film that takes place in the sports world, but it's not a sports movie about winning or losing a game. It's a film about winning or losing a life.
And in that sense, do you think it has parallels almost to other, industries? We've seen a lot, like the music industry, for example. Think of people like Britney Spears, who are sort of taken in too young and not really looked after as well as they should be. So, can you see parallels to other places?
Absolutely. And in the film, I'm kind of making some parallels also to the model world and the fashion world, which I think is in many ways quite similar. And you also have that kind of physical approach to it. I mean, that you work with your body, both as a model and as a footballer. And since the film takes place in Milan, which is, there are basically 2 things Milan is famous for. It's fashion and football, in modern days at least. So yeah, I was absolutely aware of that kind of mirroring aspect of the film, yeah.
And just very quickly, what will you work on next? Is it going to be another sports film or something totally different?
They're going to shoot the 3rd part of this trilogy, which is an American film about female gymnastics that Olivia is directing. It's called Perfect. But I've already written that one, so I'm writing a love story for myself to direct next. Yeah.
Fantastic. Lovely to chat to you. Enjoy the evening. Thanks so much.